Welcome to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. Before we begin, I want to point out that while we are not wearing masks during our conversation, we are following CDC guidelines and staying safe by maintaining at least 6 feet of social distance. And all of our student production crew members are wearing masks during the taping of this program. So let's begin. We have one of the most famous voices in Cape radio with us today, Faune Riggin from Real Talk with Riggin. Faune has been with KZIM, KSIM almost 20 years, and she's highly regarded locally and elsewhere as a champion of law enforcement and the community. Faune. Hi. Thank you for being here.
I haven't seen you for a couple hours.
It has been a while. How have you been?
I'm good.
So almost 20 years you've been in Southeast Missouri. Would you call it home at this point?
Hey man, it was home the first year I was here. I was more welcomed here than I'd ever been at home.
Yeah. And you're from
that's sad.
You're from the Dakotas, correct?
Bismarck, North Dakota, yes.
And so what was and you were in TV for quite a while before joining KZIM, KSIM.
Yes.
What made Southeast Missouri desirable for you at the time?
Well, it was kind of weird because I decided to leave TV because I was the weather person, and even people I had known since kindergarten no longer said, "Hey, how you doing?" It was, "Hey, how's the weather?" I was like, well, "We got to quit this gig." So I decided to go into talk radio just by happenstance. They had called me just as I was looking to leave, so it worked out great. And about 2 years in, they were looking for someone down here, and I was contacted, and they said, "Come on down for an interview," so I did, and here I am.
But did you think that 20 years would be happening? I mean, did you think that you'd be here this long when you first came?
You know, I wasn't sure, but as soon as I got here and I realized the way that, I was worried about it being cliquey, because when you go to somewhere new, you always think, everybody's kind of established and it's going to be weird, you're going to be the odd man out, and I've been the black sheep kind. I've been social distancing since 7th grade, so I've been I'm good at this. But I really was worried about the cliquey thing, but it's not like that here. So as soon as I got here, I mean, I was invited to places where powerful people, less powerful people, just good people, church people, I got invited everywhere, and it just immediately felt like home, and I've basically decided to not leave. So.
In the introduction, we talk about your support for law enforcement. We'll talk about radio in a bit, but your support for law enforcement and the community at large. What are the roots of that for you? Did you know people in your life or in family who were in law enforcement, or just something by nature you felt like you needed to stand up for?
Well, first of all, it's the right thing to do. Second of all, most of my friends who I'm very close to down here are either in law enforcement or married to them. My dad was Navy. Miss you, Daddy. Love you. Hope you're happy in heaven. But it just seemed like they were getting such a bad rap. Every time I turned around and I thought, you know what, somebody needs to speak up for these guys. And I decided that it should be me because I truly believe in what they do. And I think 99.9% of them are amazing, giving human beings who had a calling, and they should not be treated or indicted by the public as all being bad because they don't like a few of them. It's just wrong. So I'll always stand up for them.
And I know that Special Olympics is always something that's near and dear to your heart as well.
Yeah. I love Special Olympics. It's going to make me cry, I hope not on camera, but I have a niece with cerebral palsy, and she was never allowed to do anything. And so when she got into Special Olympics and I saw the pure joy that it created in her life, I was hooked, even from day one. And now having a grandson who's special needs, and seeing that when he gets older, if he's not able to do regular sports, I know where he's going.
It's a great
He's going to have something to do. It's the best. I love them. And the athletes are just the most loving and great human beings, never have a bad day. They're the best. Well,
you're at all kinds of events when it comes to Special Olympics. Obviously, our area supports Special Olympics in a big way, and you're always right there.
I'm the voice of Special
Olympics.
To
it, so yeah.
Proud to be.
And that goes back to kind of the, again, our area, our community. I think, you don't do those things unless you really feel like you're part of the community.
Exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there, because if I had come here and been ostracized in any type of way, I wouldn't still be here. I would have left. And I've gotten job offers in big markets all across the nation, and I'm not saying that to go, hoo-hoo, look at me. I'm just saying it's a thing. But when you find somewhere where you're comfortable and your grandkids are happy and you really feel like you have best friends and good people, you stay.
Don't you hear that from a lot of people? There's a lot of people that you run into that either they're from somewhere else and went to college here, or moved here for a job thinking, this is kind of a pass through for me. And 20 years have gone by and they're still here and they have no plans to leave.
Yeah, I don't think there's such a thing as a transplant in this area anymore. I think people get here and they're like, this is it. I'm not going to find anywhere better. Because I always say no matter where you go, there you are. So if you have a problem everywhere you go, you're probably the problem. So if you go somewhere and you're happy, stay there and make a better you,
All right, so you are the host of Real Talk with Riggin.
Yes, sir.
Let's kind of pull the curtain back a little bit there. Not only are you the host, but you also produce the show, you book the show. You are a multitasking wizard when it comes to your mornings on KZIM, KSIM.
I guess. I mean, I love it so much. What people don't know about that is that it's almost impossible to have a social life because I get up at 3. I got to be in bed by 8 so I can get everything done during the day, take care of grandkids, get home, get the ball rolling. But I have a lot of authors on the show. And you cannot disrespect them by not knowing anything about their books. So you got to read them.
Sure.
So not a day passes where I don't read for at least 2 hours. So on everything, every topic you can think of. And I really, really, really love what I do. And I hope that it shows because I have a very big passion for getting good guests that I think the public wants to hear.
And that again goes back to the community, you being a voice for the community with your show, because there are stories that would go untold. Would there not be an avenue such as yours to be able to shine a light?
Yeah, and with that, I want to invite anybody who has a story they want to tell. That I don't look for the most controversial things, but I look for good human stories that I think people want to hear. So if you have one, contact me.
There's a couple minutes left. It's been a crazy year, obviously.
Craziest.
COVID-19 playing a big role, the election, and I know that you are you back everything that's patriotic in our country. You've had to navigate through that with guests and topics and so on and so forth. That can be controversial. Not an easy thing to do.
Not scared of it, though.
And you're not scared of it.
I'm just I have zero fear of bringing the truth to people. And it may make some people mad. It may make some people super mad. But most of all, it's important. More so than it is about feelings, it's about getting the word out there. And my truth may not be someone else's truth, but just because you think a certain way doesn't change the facts. And I feel like that needs to be brought to light, whether it's popular or not. So.
As you look to 2021,
God help us.
Any topics or anything come to mind that you'd like to book on your show in the next coming months or in the next year or so?
Well, I really want to meet new people, and I want to bring back people who were interesting to see where they are now. But most of all, I want 2020 to go away. And I'm hoping that 2021's not coming in like a tidal wave to say, hold my beer, 2020. I'm hoping that things calm down and get better. And I'm not talking about politically, I'm talking about worldwide. I just hope that things improve worldwide. I hope the vaccine is effective and we can just get back to some kind of normal. Everybody's tired of it.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a voice for Southeast Missouri. And we'll get you on here again. You don't like being asked the questions.
Don't like being interviewed.
So thanks for coming and doing this today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Been talking with Faune Riggin of KZIM, KSIM. Again, thank you, Faune, for being here. We'll talk with Mayor Pro Tem Robbie Guard of Cape Girardeau. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly
Lights out. Good night.
and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Renick. National elections get all the attention, but it's often local government that has the biggest daily impact on our lives. To share the council point of view, we have Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem Robbie Guard. Robbie, how are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here. As we kind of said in the intro, it is about local. We hear that a lot, especially right now. Shopping local, supporting local. And while there are big things that are happening nationally, there's a lot happening in Cape Girardeau right now.
Yeah, there are. Local government is the avenue at which your trash is picked up, your water is taken to your house, the fire department that's putting out the fire. Those are the local government aspect. If you look at our city as far as projects and things going on, we have a ton of projects. When I got elected in 2016 for my first term, we looked around and there were only two glaring capital improvements that we knew we needed to address. One being the airport and two being City Hall. And with the capital improvement tax and some CARES funds, we are addressing those two final projects, so to speak, right now. We will be moving as many of you might know, we're moving the City Hall to Common Pleas Courthouse, which that will be able to take a very iconic site and building in Cape Girardeau and be able to push that forward that people will be able to see for hundreds of years to come, and for the city to be in its rightful spot. And I'll tell you, from a local government standpoint, seeing how that process worked, we had originally started out talking about a renovation to the current City Hall. And when we talked about that in public, people didn't like that idea near as much as trying to use common pleas. And so then, the city manager and deputy city manager paused, heard those discussions, and came back to a new proposal to city council and said, we think we might be on the wrong track with this plan. Let's really look at common pleas. And the last thing we would want would Common Pleas Courthouse to be not be able to used or be run down or anything. And so we really thought that was a good use of taxpayer dollars.
So what were some of those objections? You mentioned the kind of historic nature of the courthouse. Was it hey, let's embrace this?
I think when it came down to it, the two proposals on the original City Hall, our City Hall currently, were to tear it down and build something or really try to renovate what we currently had. The problem with that becomes, well, what do you do with common pleas? Who would have the money and the assets to be able to do something? Since we already owned Common Pleas Courthouse, we'd actually had a lease with the county, but the city of Cape Girardeau has owned that. So who could take over something that big, renovate it, and keep it up and running the right way? And when you look at it, it fit right in with something that would be beneficial for us to take over and do.
So what's the timeline on that right now?
If anybody has driven by, it's amazing that they've gotten there as far as they are. We are thinking that by October of 2021, staff should be in there, and we will be having city council meetings and doing our thing in there.
It seems like a huge undertaking, and as you say, there's great progress that's happening. That's October 2021. That doesn't seem too far away, really, in the grand scheme of things.
No, and if you look at Cape, not only Cape Girardeau, but our outliers, Jackson, Center Junction, development, we've got a lot of things that are going on in Cape and the surrounding area that all play a part in our growth in this area, and couldn't be more proud of the airport and the new city hall. I was talking to a colleague this morning, and I said, at some point we're going to have to quit calling Common Pleas, and start calling it City Hall. So we'll try to get that done by next October.
And the plans for the current City Hall will be what?
You know, a lot of times we look for outside partnerships to where maybe we would be able to sell that property to a developer, much like what they did with Lewis, Schultz, 7th grade, which was the original high school in town. Something like that. Hopefully we can find a partner to work with on them or sell the property to. We do have a need in Cape Girardeau for those type of projects.
We're a little bit short here on time, and I apologize, but I know that
I get long-winded, Mike.
I know city manager is top priority as well. You have a consultant helping.
Yes.
What's the process looking like?
Okay.
You got about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Or so.
All right. So we met. The city council met and decided that we thought it would be best for the committee to hire the new city manager would be just the city council. We looked at a couple of firms, consultant firms that we wanted to partner with on that hire. We ended up choosing GovHR. Part of the reason why, and I tell a lot of people this, part of the reason why we chose GovHR is because of the lead on that is a gentleman named Mark Peterson. And Mark Peterson had about 20 years of city manager experience in Normal, Illinois, a little larger community than Cape. Illinois State is there, and we really thought that Mark and his group would bring a lot of insight to us on that hire. At that point, then we went out to all employees for a survey, and then Mark met with upper management, so to speak, and council individually to get a list of things that the council members and other employees are looking for in a city manager. We compile that and we look to have a candidate pool, I'm going to say probably by March. So I think you'll start seeing some names in the first quarter of 2020, and then the final four will probably bring in, much like you've seen Southeast has done in the past and other organizations, and kind of let them be introduced to the community and go from there. But this was something, this is the biggest decision that City Council has had to make with respect to employment or city manager since 2009. So this is a big project and something that everyone is not taking very lightly at all.
Robbie, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks again to Councilman Robbie Guard for joining us today. After the break, we will hear all about the Marine Corps Toys4Tots program and how you can help bring joy to area children this holiday season. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
Have pre-diabetes.
Pre-diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get pre-diabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for pre-diabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No? Whew.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Fast-paced family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Mike Renick. Just a friendly reminder, while we are not wearing masks during our conversation, we are following CDC guidelines and staying safe by maintaining at least 6 feet of social distance, and all of our student production crew members are wearing masks during the taping of this program. Toys4Tots organizers aim to bring a message of hope to the neediest children in our area and motivation to grow into responsible, patriotic citizens and community leaders. Let's welcome Marine Corps League Toys4Tots coordinator Matt McGill. Matt, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mike.
So you're the coordinator of the Toys4Tots program in the area. How many years have you been at the helm, so to speak?
The last 3 years I've worked closely with coordinating the Toys4Tots campaign here in Southeast Missouri.
Okay. And when we talk about the area that you guys service, how many counties is that about?
So we cover Bollinger County, Cape County, Scott County, and Stoddard County primarily. Those 4 counties are our primary area of influence.
Obviously, it's been as we can say, been a crazy year. And I know there's a need every year for toys, and you guys are everywhere all the time. Once the program window kind of begins, are you getting a sense that the need will be even more this year than it has been, or have you had feelers on that yet?
We are getting some feelers on that. Initial applications are coming in, and we're starting to see additional applications that we wouldn't normally be receiving. We've gotten a lot of phone calls from a lot of people who are hesitant to even apply, that are obviously not people who have used our services in the past. And we're aware that nationwide we were given guidance at training early on this year that we were going to be expecting a certain percentage of increase just based on this COVID situation that we're all living under right now.
So when do the people usually see the boxes arriving in businesses and so on and so forth? When do those start?
Those boxes have been out now for a few weeks. We've got most of them out at the beginning, middle of October. We're continuing to push them out. We have businesses that daily reach out to us on our website and ask how can we be a toy drop box location, and we only ask that if you take a box that you bring us one full back at least. That's sort of this year, so that we maximize resource allocation. If we send a box out, we would like for one full box to come back. More than that is awesome, but so that we make sure that we're not setting boxes in places. A lot of stores are closed, and it's difficult to get access to some of these things. So we're working to as we speak, I'm working on my phone to develop some toy drive alternatives, COVID style drive up, and we will unload your toys from your trunk scenarios that we're working on to try to compensate for the lack of opportunity to get places open where you can go in and drop toys off. We have a lot of businesses on our website that are open. There are also a great many that cannot be open to the general public, as everyone's becoming aware. So we're doing what we can to shift gears and to continually be flexible. I said Semper Gumby this year was our motto. We're going to keep moving and stay flexible and willing to work to get the mission accomplished.
So if someone wants to donate toys, what's going to be the best way to do that?
Well, they can go online on our website, Toys4Tots.org, and then look at Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Select the county you're in, and there should be a listing of places they can drop toys. There are a lot of stores that you go to every day, such as Schnucks and all these other stores that are locally that have drop boxes that are open to the public that will allow you to bring a toy in. But we're gonna schedule some toy drives and push that out through our social media platforms. The best thing that the general public can do to keep track of our events would be to follow us on our Facebook page, which is at SEMO Toys for Tots. So.
And I know that there's a big drive coming up on December the
22nd,
9th and 10th as well.
Well, that's the
12th,
November, December.
Okay, right.
No, we're still in November. November 26th. November 22nd. We're going to have a whistle stop toy drive in Jackson.
Correct. Okay.
At the train station, the St. Louis Iron Mountain and Railroad. They're the center of Jackson. The train that everyone drives past every day. We're going to actually have the Army National Guard come out, set up some vehicles, and do a fill the truck style event, and kids can come out and enjoy that. We'll have some other auxiliary opportunities to do things that day, and that evening we have a whistle stop Santa Express special Toys for Tots train that we're going to run as a fundraiser this year to help raise funds to purchase toys because of the donation lag that we're going to experience from some of these businesses that normally would donate toys.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for being here. We hope everyone gives. It's a need this year, and thanks for all the hard work that you do year in and year out.
Thank you.
Thanks again to all of our guests for their efforts to make the Cape area the great community that we call home. Thank you for joining us today for Cape Chronicle. The program is a collaboration among the Department of Mass Media at Southeast Missouri State University and the City of Cape Girardeau and River Radio. Our producer is Nicolette Brennan, and our executive producer is Dr. Jim Dufek. I'm Mike Renick. Thanks for watching.